Good morning, Ugly Mug Marketing followers. My name is Hannah Valiette, and I am the Director of Communications and Teaching here at Ugly Mug Marketing. And welcome to another edition of Coffee Chats, the live show where we drink coffee and chat about marketing. Today, I'm super excited because we have our fabulous marketing coordinator, Lily, joining us. And Lily and I are going to be talking all about email newsletters. Y'all, they are not dead, which is a topic and a question that I have for Lily. But welcome, Lily. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. We always wish Hannah was.
My sound is still just being funky. So let me just quick jump over here to the audio and make sure that we are good on my end. Because I don't want the people in internet land to not be able to hear you either. Certainly that is not the case. All right, let's do a quick test. Lily, say something.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I'm connecting to my AirPods, which is my own personal problem. We will keep rolling right along. Lily, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been at Ugly Mug, what you like to do for fun for those who are tuning in, whether you're watching live or watching later on the replay, and they haven't had a chance to meet you yet.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Lily, like Hannah said. I am from Alexandria. So I actually just moved back here about a year ago after moving away for college and then randomly moving to Indiana. So I moved back here and fortunately got a job with Ugly Mug. For fun, I think everyone on the team knows this, but I am a big Joe Burrow fan. So in my free time, I like to cheer for the Bengals. I just got a new dog, so I already bought him his first Bengals bandana that says Who Day on it. So we will be wearing that as soon as it arrives. It's too bad it didn't happen before my birthday party. We could have brought him to celebrate. And I'm also a power lifter and a powerlifting coach at my alma mater here in Alexandria as well. So cheering for the Bengals, powerlifting, and shopping are like my three main hobbies that I have.
Yes. And spending time with your dog now too, who's absolutely adorable. Lily just rescued a golden retriever. Give a shout out to the golden retrievers in the comments if you want to.
Literally,
how someone would abandon a golden retriever is still beyond me. Guys, look at him. He's precious. He's everything perfect and right in the world.
I always thought that I was a cat girl. And then I got a dog and I was like, I'm a cat and a dog girl. So best of both worlds.
I love that for you.
And then I'm actually coming up on my 1 year anniversary at Ugly Mug. So December 15th will make 1 year that I've been a part of the Ugly Mug family.
Yes. Truly, our team would not be the same without Lily. I don't know how we were living without Lily.
TikTok,
let me just hype her up. Yes. Follow us on the Ugly Mug TikTok. You will see mostly Lily there.
It's because I'll literally text Megan and Mallory and I'll say, hey guys, let's film a TikTok. And they're like, I don't look good today. And I'm like, I don't care what I look like, girl. The views are the views. Like people want to see you look real. So
yes, exactly. Not me turning on Zoom touch up every time I have a Zoom call though. Gotta do what you gotta do. Exactly. All right, y'all. Who knows where this conversation is going to go? I promise we will try our best to keep it on track. Lily, we are here to talk about email marketing. So a little bit of a backstory, because I sent an email out on the Ugly Mug marketing list. We talked a little bit in that email yesterday about nurturing, building relationships, how email marketing is basically, it's not dead. There are good ways to do it. Email marketing around the holidays feels a little ick. It feels really spammy sometimes. And I think for people who are not investing time or resources in the email marketing space, they're kind of looking at what's going on probably right now, because my inbox is already overflow with holiday emails. They're kind of looking at what's going on and they're like, does this actually work? Is this really what this is all about? Is email marketing dead? What are you seeing when it comes to email marketing or just like e-newsletters in general, just as a whole across the industry, or even for some of your clients? Like what are you seeing right now?
So something that someone put in perspective for me, and it might have been Hannah Broom, might have been Wayne, was that everybody has an email and Facebook will literally go down before email ever does. So to say that email is dead is really, I would say it's not true, because there's no platform you can have these days where you're not going to have an email. So regardless of if you're actually active on your email, you have to have one for anything else that you do in life. Think about it. You sign up for Facebook. I mean, how many times a day do you have to get a code for Ads Manager that you have to check your email for? Like, regardless if you're going there,
2 million times.
Yes, you literally have to check your email no matter what. And whether you're going to look for anything, that's one thing, but you're going to get those codes where you have to, like, verify your email address. So like anything that you sign up for, any kind of social media platform, you have to have an email. So in that same realm, like email marketing, like just go for it, because everyone has an email, everyone's using them. Like I said a million times, I don't think it's set in for my clients. I really push email marketing, especially if they have the clientele that like is needing promotional deals, if they're needing informational things, like just to reach your audience as a whole in a different way that's not just social media.
Yeah, we can't put all of our eggs into like just the email basket or just the social media basket or just the billboard or radio or television or streaming or YouTube, whatever it may be. So it definitely is another touch point, kind of like you said there at the end, for us to be able to just like reconnect with our customers or with our prospective customers or with our friends. And in that email that I sent out yesterday, I think that just really ties in nicely about moving them through the natural progression. So as we are trying to find new customers or stay in touch with our current customers, we're constantly thinking about the natural progression and how we take someone from being a stranger, turning them into a friend, turning them into a customer, and then ultimately turning them into an evangelist, which is someone who is going to like rant and rave all about our business. And I think sometimes we get those strangers and convert them into subscribers on our email list, but they don't ever really become our friends. Like, we're not really good at nurturing that friendship over time. And so those email newsletters, that educational information is really important in nurturing that friendship. But also it's really important for positioning ourselves or yourself or your business or your brand as the expert too. And so I feel like that probably really plays a huge role in like just email marketing overall in general too. But anyway, my next question for you is like, if someone is starting to or wanting to get into the email marketing, e-newsletter space, like what do you define as success? Like what metrics should we be paying attention to? What should we be looking for when it comes to, okay, I hit send on my e-newsletter, my first newsletter. Now what?
Right. So, I mean, definitely whatever platform you're using is going to give you those statistics that are telling you, hey, you sent out this email, here's your open rate, here's your click rate. And those things are a great way to figure out what time of day is best to send, what day of the week is best to send. I know for us, like a lot of times, we're not going to send an email on a Friday afternoon. I don't know about you, but on a Friday afternoon, the last thing I'm thinking about is like checking my emails and where I'm going to go shop tonight. Like I'm thinking about like charcuterie boards, binge watching Netflix. Like I'm just not thinking about emails.
No.
And then we have we have a client who does like hiring ads, and it's a very blue collar industry. And so when they send out emails, hate to tell you this, but if you're a blue collar industry, a blue collar worker is probably not checking their email in the middle of the day. They're probably checking their emails beginning of the morning, like sunshine, bright early, because that's when their workday starts. Compared to if your target market is maybe like stay-at-home parents, that kind of realm where like you kind of have flexibility in that. So whatever your target audience is kind of what you should be looking at, and then using those statistics to make sure that you're sending your emails at the right time of day, which also leads into another factor that is great about email marketing, which are tags and then segments. And so if you have a specific type of person on your email list, you can tag them and you can tag them to be what state they're in, how old they are. Like you can literally create any kind of tag. For example, we have a early childhood network client that sends out newsletters to both parents and educators, and then business women, men and women in their industry. And we're not going to send emails to the business people who are about emails that are about, school closures today, because that's not important to them.
Yeah.
But we're able to get those 2 different emails or however many different emails to make sure that we're sending the right information and the most valuable information to those people to ultimately keep them from doing what we all hate, which is unsubscribing from our newsletters.
Yeah. And I think unsubscribing, I think that is going to come into play when someone's like, I didn't sign up to get this particular information. So that's where segmenting is going to be super important. So, okay, just to recap quick, the success is measured by first knowing who our audience is, because we need to make sure that we're even getting the right information to the right people at the right time. If we don't know who we're trying to talk to, then the newsletter probably isn't going to be successful. And then once we hit send on that, we know who we're talking to, when we need to talk to them. Then we look at those metrics of open rate, which is, explain to me what an open rate is for those watching who might not know.
So open rate basically is exactly like it sounds. I sent my email to 100 people, 50 people opened it and spent time, looking at my email. 50% open rate. Half of those people opened it. And then on the segment that we specifically use, which is MailChimp, but I know we'll get into that a little bit later, you can also see click rate. So how many people are clicking links that are linked in basically your call to action, how many people are clicking the links that are in your email.
Yeah. And that probably varies too. Some people are just purely sending an e-newsletter that just has educational information. There aren't really any links driving people. But I would imagine that for those who are sending an email like Bath and Body Works,
I was going to bring them up, and I'm so glad that you did. They are killing it this season. I don't know if it's just me, but I am their open rate. I am if they have one follower, it is me, and I am liking it and I'm opening it and they're getting me. When we'll get into this subject lines preview header, beautiful. Yes. In my opinion.
Yes, they're getting me every time I click. I keep hitting unsubscribe, but I'm still getting them. But it's okay because I keep opening them. So they're like, does she really want to unsubscribe? She's giving us mixed messages right now. But Bath and Body Works, for example, their goal is driving traffic to the website, right? Or to drive traffic into the brick and mortar store. And so for them, that click-through rate is really important to see that people are actually navigating from the email into the the website and making a purchase there and converting into a customer. Or if they already were a customer and they're an evangelist and you're like, hey, I love Bath and Body Works. We have a friend named Rob. Rob is hilarious. We love Rob. Anyway, Rob is obsessed with Bath and Body Works. Y'all, he's 57 years old and he loves Bath and Body Works. He has every scent. You walk into his house, it smells like Bath and Body Works. I absolutely love that for him. But Rob is also one of these people that he's I'm opening the emails. I'm seeing what the new scents are. Guys, I got this new hand sanitizer. I'm absolutely hilarious. But anyway, all that to say, they have specific goals around their email marketing. And I think that really comes into play too when we're determining what success might be, right? What is our actual goal? What is the purpose of sending out this email? Is it that we purely, like Lily said, we just have educational information? Is it that we are trying to convert this person into a paying customer and get them to make a purchase at bathandbodyworks.com or come into the brick and mortar store? We need to know what the goal and purpose is behind the email in order to determine what success is, so we can accurately look at those metrics like click through and open rate and really determine is this working for my business? Is it worth it for me to invest in this?
I think it's important too. And Hannah Broom, our marketing manager, taught me this. It's good to have a mixture of both educational and sales. I guess it really would depend on the client, but you don't always want to be here are my products, buy them, buy them, buy them. Especially if you're like a local business, a small business, I love to see like what you're doing that's not salesy. I want to see like what you're doing in your community, what you're doing that like would pertain to me. And the example that I had for that was we have a client, Insight Audio Video. Shout out Adam if you're watching this. They're audio video security. And when we are curating these emails together, I know that his clientele is super niche to the Sinlow area because they're a small local company, so they want to make sure that they're reaching the people in their community. And so whenever we're showing jobs, whether it be on Facebook or email marketing, we want to show those jobs that are local. So he's done work at Glass et Cetera, which is another one of our clients, ironically, but they're local, and I see that he's in our community. And when I go to Glass et Cetera, now that I know that he did it, me as a person, I subconsciously am going to walk in there and be like, oh, Adam did all of this, or Insight Audio Video did all of this. And so I like to see like the local things that we're doing. Sweet Baton Rouge, another one of our clients, like she does amazing email marketing, and she always gets me to click on emails. I am another big open rate person for her. But they're just very personable, and you're like seeing what she's doing. You're seeing like the changes they're making, and it's not always just, hey, here's what I'm selling today. Like it makes you want to click on it. And then when you do get that sales email, you're like more inclined to want to click on it also.
Yes. Yes. I love that personal touch of feeling like you're getting to know the owner, you're getting to know the people that are actually working for the company. I think another business that does a really great job of that is Little Cakes with Big Attitude. Every month for their monthly newsletter, they take turns between Bridget and Robin writing just some little opener that has something to do with their personal life. And I remember when I was on that account, I loved Bridget's around August, September time, because it was like back to school. And for those of you who don't know Bridget, she's one of the owners at Little Cakes with Big Attitude, and she used to be a librarian. And so she talks about like loving being in the back to school mode and thinking about like freshly sharpened pencils and kids coming in and checking out books and all the things. And it just makes you feel like you know Bridget, like you know her a little bit more, and you have that like personal connection with her. And I feel like whenever I talk to them, they laugh because they're like, oh my gosh, people really read these emails. Someone brought up this story or this thing that I mentioned in the email when they came into the store, to pick up their order of cupcakes or when they came through the drive-through. And I just think that's really cool. And that has a lot to do with that nurturing of that friendship and building that connection so that someone actually wants to become a customer. And I'm not at all saying that people are coming in because Bridget told everyone that she was a librarian, but it deepens it, right? It helps them feel like they know her better. So yes, I absolutely love that point, because I'm all about, even with social media content in the space that I hang out with, like, I'm like, guys, every single post can't be buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Like, we need to have a good blend of different types of content. So
right.
I love that you brought that point up.
Another good point that I was thinking of whenever you were talking about like Little Cakes with Big Attitude and their personability, another thing that's really big whenever you send an email is who the email is coming from and that from line. So for a long time, for one of my clients, I say for a long time, it was a month and then I changed it, but because Hannah Broom, Hannah Broom, she's just like, she tells you one thing and you're like, yes, ma'am, I'll do that. So I was just sending an email and I would just say, for example, it was me and I'm just putting Lily, and then I'm sending out the email. Well, they're going to get this email and it's like, okay, who is Lily and why do I care? Like, why should I open it?
Yeah.
But then if I change it and I say Lily Poisso or Lily at Ugly Mug Marketing, as soon as I don't have a common last name. If you know me and you see my last name, and Ugly Mug Marketing is not a common business, like if you see either of those, you're more inclined to click on it. One, because you either recognize the name, or two, we have a personal connection with one another in some way.
Yeah. Love that. So as we're thinking about all of these different things, like subject line or including your name or educational versus sales content, all of that, adding those personal stories, like you said, like with Adam, and like we just ranted about Little Cakes. What are some of the components? What are 3 key components of building a successful e-newsletter?
I have them written down right here. So if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. The first
Girl,
one,
I love it. Bring the notes.
compelling content. So, for me, like we said, this starts at the subject line. This starts at your subject line, your preview header. And so to go back to the Bath and Body Works example, they sent me an email, and they've been sending a lot of emails that are like this. And it's the subject line will say something like, "You don't want to miss this," or "Something big is happening tomorrow." And I'm like, okay, sign me up. I want to know what's going on tomorrow, especially because it's Bath
I
and
have
Body Works.
FOMO.
Right. I've been shopping at Bath and Body Works since I was quite literally, I don't know, an infant. Alexandria has 2 of them. Why? Couldn't tell you, but we do. And so they're sending, and they have great rewards now, by the way. If you don't have their app, highly recommend. But they'll send these emails, and it's like, you don't want to miss out on what's happening tomorrow. And I'm like, you're correct. I do not want to miss out on what is happening tomorrow. And so I'll click on it, and then I'll get the email the next day that is the big event, and it's like men's body care. And I'm like, man, they really got me. They, like, what? I'm not buying men's body care, but they really got me on this one, but then, next time they send it, I'm still going to open it. They got me once, fooled me once. That's okay. I'm still going to open it. So, because they're just so compelling, they're going to get me. And so the compelling content starts there. And then once you move into it, graphics that really catch your eye, that's a really big thing. Like one of my favorite stores is Flirty Girl, located in New Orleans, and they always have super fun graphics. Sweet Baton Rouge has really great graphics. Little Cakes, really great graphics. Just things that like make you realize why you subscribed. And it's because like, I love Little Cakes because they're like big attitude pink. Like I love seeing that. So when I open their email, if I see an email that's like blacked out and like, has like red scary things on it, I'm going to be like, this is Little Cakes with scary attitudes, not big attitudes. And so, but like seeing those graphics that catch your eye make you realize why you subscribe to them in the first place. That plays a big part. And then another thing is using you and your more than we and our. So just like making it feel more like I'm talking directly to you. I know, Hannah, like you've been sending out emails on behalf of Ugly Mug lately, and I'll get it and it says like my name a ton throughout the email. And like, I forget that you sent this as a Ugly Mug email and not that you just emailed me directly. Like I genuinely feel like when you email me, the amount of times that you're using my name and making it personal, I'm like, oh, she's talking to me.
Yes.
So just using like you and your, and just making it feel like, Hannah, this email was curated directly for you. Like I had you in mind when I sent this email, rather than being like, well, we have this going on and blah, blah, like, just strictly about you, because at the end of the day, you're not buying your own products. Your people are, so that's the first component that I had. Not sure if you had any comments on that. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, you're good. So compelling content, images and graphics, and then also, what was the last thing? Sorry, that we just
using about? You and your. So like all of that was under all of that was under compelling content. So that was just the first one. Sorry, I talk about that. My second one was engaging design. So along with the graphics, that's readability, storytelling. Readability is when I look at your email, is your whole email just one long paragraph? Because I promise you, I'm not reading it. Like if it's just like one paragraph and it's not broken up into segments, like you can give me a paragraph, and as soon as you make it multiple sentences, like think about how we text these days. When I text someone, I'm like, hey, send. What are you doing? Send. Hope you had a great day. Send. All in one. Like I'm.
Oh my gosh, are you like this too? Because I have friends who come at me about the text message, and they're like, Hannah, you just sent me like 50 text messages. It could have just been one. And I'm like, but that is not how I was thinking. Like I was just like, hey, this, this, and then that, and then that. So, okay. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. No, you're good. So whenever I have an email that's like that, I'm like, I can read it. So if you are subscribed to Ugly Mug emails, you can go back and read the one Hannah sent yesterday. And that's a good example. It's like, maybe 2 or 3 sentences and then goes right into the next one. But it just makes it easier to read, and it makes me want to read it, especially whenever you're using like bolded words, using like, making them hot pink, underlining them, just like keeping the readability good. And that also transfers to, is your email mobile friendly, desktop friendly? If I can't read it on my phone, hate to tell you this, not reading it.
Yeah. Making sure that the font size is large enough so when someone's reading it on their phone that they can actually read it without having to zoom in or anything weird like that. Yes.
And then under engaging design as well, storytelling. So like, is the stuff that you're telling me relevant to me? Does it make me feel good? Does it make me want to keep reading what you have to do, or like want to engage in your call to action? Which is actually the third component, clear call to action. You can have clear call to actions on both informational or educational and sales emails. And I kind of wrote down a few that kind of like differentiate the two. So if it's a sales email, your call to action can be discount codes, free trials, or like see our best sellers. So the discount codes and free trial are making them kind of like want to visit your website. Meredith at Sweet Baton Rouge does a great job of making me want to use a discount code. Like she sends it to me and I'm like, girl, thank you. Sounds good. And then if you're doing like more educational, you can be like, leave us a review or a free PDF, click here, free PDF call to action. We have done free PDFs, how to keep for Insight Audio, how to keep your home as safe as possible. Like those kind of things, just something that I can quickly download, read it really quick, screenshot it, put it on my phone, put it on my computer. So it doesn't always have to be, salesy.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So recap for us 1 through 3.
Yes. Number 1, compelling content. 2, engaging design. And 3, a clear call to action.
Love it. I think too, with that call to action, honestly, with all of them, like it really comes down to just knowing who your subscribers are and knowing who that customer avatar or who those different avatars are. Lily touched on segmenting earlier. So like for your newsletter, it's like, do you have a newsletter for each segment, or is it going to everyone who has ever subscribed to your newsletter list? I think deeply knowing those people and understanding what it is that they're looking for is going to help you create compelling content, have good design, and know exactly what your call to action needs to be, because you know what they want. You know what they need. You know what they're looking for. You know if a long form email versus short form email is going to work better for them, because if they're a busy mom on the go and they don't really have time to read, or if you are providing informational or educational information to working professionals who are looking to learn more about whatever your product or service is, or looking to learn more, grow in a specific area, well, then maybe we can go with something that's longer form. Maybe we can link out to a video that has deeper explanation. But all of that of what needs to go in the email really comes down to, again, knowing your customer deeply. So once we know that customer deeply, we say, all right, we're ready to start an e-newsletter. Here are all the different components we need to have. Here's how we're going to design it. Here's the type of content we're going to provide. Here's what our call to action is going to be. We're like, okay, we know all of those things. Now what platform do I use to send this email? Right? So I know we have like a favorite in the office. So I want Lily to talk a little bit more about why this tool, what her favorite tool, email marketing tool is for small businesses, and why this is her favorite tool.
I also wanted to mention that after we talk about our favorite platform, I just read my notes and there's one really important part that we missed that I think that we should touch on that makes a good email list. So I'll talk about our favorite and then we can go back to that.
Love that.
I was talking about MailChimp. We are MailChimp stands in this office, and Hannah Broom, who again is our marketing manager. This is like a Hannah Broom hype session, basically is what this is.
I know.
But when people call, I always have to be like Hannah Balliet or Hannah Broom, and yeah, so there's just 2 Hannahs. One with that.
They're never asking for me.
No, and if they are, I'm like, good luck.
They're like, Broom.
Right. She's in Raleigh. Good luck. Get a plane ticket. So we use MailChimp, and Hannah Broom and I are MailChimp certified / experts. So, which means that we have just taken the time to kind of dig deep into MailChimp, take the assessment courses, learn more. That way we can better serve our clients. And so I've used MailChimp. I also have 2 clients that use Constant Contact. I'm not as familiar with that one as I am for MailChimp. So I personally think MailChimp, just based off of not really exploring other options, is a really good one for beginners, for people who are, really deep into their knowledge in MailChimp or into email marketing, simply because there are a ton of like subscription options that you can have. So you can start off like on a basic package and then you can move up. I think they have 4 total. Just like as your newsletter grows or as you're wanting to use more of their AI options, they have more of their like pre-designed templates. It just has a lot of like learning measures in it. I feel like it teaches you different layouts. It'll have, hey, are you doing a sales email? Well, here are 4 templates that we think would really work for you. It also has a new segment in it where you can upload basically your brand guide, and every time you go to create a new email, it automatically puts in your logo, it puts in your fonts, it puts in your colors. It's really nice and has been really helpful for my clients that use MailChimp, especially if you're creating more than 1 email a month.
Yeah, I love that. I haven't been playing around in MailChimp in quite some time, so that is a really cool feature. Kind of reminds me of like Canva, where you can just like upload your brand, and then I love within Canva that you can, once you've uploaded your colors too, if you're like using a template, like same thing, you can just click apply my colors, and you can hit shuffle a couple of times if it's not quite looking right. But that's a really cool feature. I did not even know that was a thing. So
Yes.
love that. Okay, let's go back to your point though about another
Yes.
key component of an email.
And it actually really ties into the fact that you can do that on MailChimp, the branding and everything. And so what I wanted to touch on was consistency, because we did not talk about that. And it is so, so, so important to make sure that you are being consistent in someone's inbox. I can't tell you how many times I only hear from someone when it's my birthday. And it's not because they sent me that email, it's because it's automatic and I'm just like in their audience. It's not because I knew it was my birthday. That's the only time I hear from them. And I'm like, thank you so much for this free offer. However, I haven't heard from you in forever, and I just think consistency is one of those things where, and I wrote down, there are a few things when I check my email in the morning I'm looking for. And it is my USPS digest. And I want to know what I'm getting in the mail today. That is what I'm looking for. My Etsy shipping orders. Like if I bought something, tell me where it's at, girl. I need to know. And anything that I don't normally see or things that stick out to me. And so if I see something that I don't normally see, I'm like, where did you come from? Like, and I'm not even subscribed to you anymore. And more than likely, I'm not reading your email unless you sent me this one random email and you really got me with the subject line. But if I'm not hearing from you constantly, I promise you, like, I'm deleting your email out of my inbox. So I think, I was just going to say, like, if you have an email newsletter list, utilize it. People won't always click on your emails. You're not always going to send an email that 100% of your audience is clicking on. And if you are, please give us your details and tips and etc.
Please apply at uglymugmarketing.com. Go to the careers page.
Yes, because like if you're getting 100% open rate, do you have one person and is it yourself opening your email? Because beautiful. You're not always going to send emails to people who want to open it. So if you're only sending 1 email a year, that even lowers your chance. Like you can send 2 emails a month, and if 50% open it today and 50% open the second one, you're doing a lot better than just sending 1 email a year, because like I said, not everyone's opening your emails. So the more you can put out there that is relatable and like, your audience wants to read. I'm not saying blow up your audience.
Yes, and I think that's a really good point. Like I'm always like, y'all, let's not just send an email for the sake of sending an email. Like let's make sure that we actually have valuable, meaningful content that our people want to have. And it also has to make sense for the person who's creating the email too, right? So like you're talking about being consistent. If I commit to, I'm going to send a weekly newsletter, do I actually have time to put together a weekly newsletter? Because I can't say, welcome to our weekly newsletter, and then send one week, and then send another one 3 weeks later, and then send one the week after that, but then miss another for like 5 weeks. Like you have to think about, what do I actually have time and capacity for? And what do I have content for as well? So if it's a monthly newsletter, great. if it's a weekly newsletter, you got all kinds of stuff. Like they be having all kinds of stuff over there at the Bath and Body Works, y'all. Like they can be sending us a weekly newsletter. But if you're someone who's like, actually a quarterly newsletter makes more sense for us, that's great too. And that actually brings up a really great point that just crossed my mind. We had a client that we were sending a monthly newsletter for, and we were like, the open rates, like that we're not providing any really new crazy information that we different from the previous month. We were like, the open rate's terrible. We know we have the right people here, but we're not serving them the right things. Like this is not actually helpful to them. This is not really interesting to them. This is just kind of like we're sending this email for the sake of sending an email, and it feels good to us that we are having this other touch point. But if no one's opening it or reading it or clicking on it, it doesn't really matter then. And so we went to a quarterly newsletter format for them. And it is doing so much better. Like we basically were like, okay, everything we were including in those 3 months, plus making some other tweaks, making a little bit more personal stories, adding in some more valuable information, linking to some blogs. We're like, oh, okay, this is the better format for us. We actually have enough content to do quarterly. We don't have enough content to do monthly. And I think their subscribers are used to that now. Like we've made that change over the past year. And I think they're just like, all right, like at the beginning, the first of the month, every 3 months, we're going to get a newsletter from X organization. And that just works so much better for them.
Yeah. And then there are some businesses like Sweet Baton Rouge or, one that have your inventory is ever so changing. Those are the kind of things where it's like, I don't want to know in 3 months that you got your Christmas collection. Well, baby, it's February. I don't really care about your Christmas collection anymore. But we have another client where we really only send out emails once a month, plus anytime they have additional inventory. It's metal supplies. Like the metal doesn't change. They have the same metal every single week. And so sending out that one educational email and then maybe an email that's like, hey, here's our overstock. Here's our oversupply. Like, come get it now. She's going, gone. And that's just what works for them. And so it's ever changing for every client and for every business. So it's important to realize, like you said, what works for you. If it's weekly, if it's monthly, if it's quarterly, you just kind of have to figure that out for yourself. And I mean, fortunately, there are ways to do that. And that's by using those analytics that hopefully that your email segment is letting you or giving to you. So.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We've gone 8 minutes over. If you've been tuning in for this entire time, kudos to you. Thank you so much for listening to Lily and I rant all about email marketing and why newsletters are not dead. If you've watched this entire 38-minute live, you have learned the 3 components of a successful e-newsletter. You've learned the best marketing tool, aka MailChimp, that we highly recommend, why we love them, all the cool features that are within MailChimp. I also want to plug too that there's a free version of MailChimp up to X amount of subscribers. I can't remember what that number is anymore. It used to be around the 2,000 mark. I'm not sure if that's still the case.
1,500 is
okay. So around that 1,500, 2,000 mark. But then there is a paid version if you want to get into drip campaigns and some of those automated emails, like the birthday emails and all of that fun stuff. I do believe you have to pay for those. But regardless, free version, paid version, MailChimp, all the way. And then you also have learned how to determine the success of a newsletter. So looking at those open rates, paying attention to the time of day, but really knowing what your goal is for your newsletter. Are you trying to drive traffic to your website? Are you trying to get conversions and close sales? What is your goal? That will help you determine truly what the success of your campaign is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Lily, thank you so much for making time for me this morning and having a cup of coffee with me. Lily, we didn't even talk about our coffee this morning. I have a drip coffee from my co-working space here at Nest Raleigh.
That did explode everywhere.
I'm trying to think if it was like a Honduras. Oh yeah, moments before we went live, it started overflowing. So we had to get some paper towels and clean that up. But I think it's a Honduran blend or roast or something. So, but Lily, what are you drinking?
So I don't care if it's -4 degrees outside, which it never will be in Louisiana. But I will be drinking an iced coffee, and you cannot change my mind. But this is a a nice macchiato with half vanilla, half caramel. I always tell them to surprise me with their whatever flavors they want to do. And they're sugar free. And I always say like, but no almond. But then she put caramel, and I forgot that I don't like caramel. But it is what it is. It's good. I love Tampa Grind.
I mean,
Shout out
it
Tampa.
looks like you drank like 75% of it. So
And I will every single time. I will not waste a single drip of this beautiful coffee. But shout out Tampa Grind if you're in the area. Highly recommend. And then if you're at Tampa Grind, you might as well stop over here and come say hello to us.
Yes. Love that. Open invite. Doors always open at Ugly Mug. Come take a tour of the office, do the things, see the peeps, meet Lily.
Get a sticker. All things.
Yeah, get a sticker. Ask for something free. We'll find something. A pen, a sticker, a shirt. I don't know.
We have like a cut out Shawn Mendes. You can have it all.
Yeah. I love that. All right, y'all. Thank you so much again for tuning in, whether you're watching this live or catching us on the replay on LinkedIn, YouTube, or on Facebook. Next week, I'm going to be chatting with Abby Thomas, who is one of our social media marketing coordinators, and we're going to be diving into the world of Pinterest and Pinterest for boutiques. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking a lot about Sweet Baton Rouge, who's one of our clients. And again, I know I'm like, oh, we love Meredith, we love Sweet Baton Rouge. So we're going to be chatting a little bit about Sweet Baton Rouge and the upcoming case study that Lily's been working on, that Abby has been working on. It's going to be so good. You won't want to miss out. We'll catch you next week for another edition of Coffee Chats. See y'all next time.
But also, if you are subscribed to our newsletter, you will see my email that is coming out about Sweet Baton Rouge and Pinterest marketing and the case study. So stay tuned.
Yes. Stay tuned, friends. We'll catch y'all next time.